What is up? It is I Smooth here, and we are doing the last tier list until supposedly LRB's Gohan and LR Gogeta Blue drop. Hopefully, those are the two. I want them to be at the top of the TUR, or not the TURs. What am I talking about? Top of the LR tier list. Top two units in the game. Hopefully, Beast Gohan is one and Gogeta Blue is two. Undoubtedly, number one and two. That is what I'm hoping for. But regardless of that, this is the top 10 TURs, including Limit Breaker Vegito. I did want to include him on this list. He deserves it. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, let's start off with the honorable mentions. We have Yamcha and Super Trunks. Not much to talk about with them. Super Trunks is good in Omega, actually really good in Omega. He sucks in Fusion Zamasu, like terrible. Any event that hits hard at the start, he's going to be bad in, but ones that don't hit hard in the start, he'll be good, especially if they're not too long. His Usher, his damage, his guaranteed crits, his additional. He does a lot when he's Super Trunks, but if you get caught before that, then you'd lose. So, straight up, honorable mentions. Good, could possibly be in the top 10 if a few things change. Not bad enough to leave him off the list. Same thing with Yamcha. Dodge or die character. Essentially gets more dodge, pretty sure based on attacks. Can dodge pretty decently. His defense isn't absolutely horrendous, but it's not great. He does good amount of damage, crits, additionals. Again, dodge, important. So again, he's not crazy like the rest of these units. Or yeah, we'll say that. We'll say he's not crazy like the rest of these units, but he's pretty good. Now I'm not including easy A's on here, so we'll just go with that. Because honestly, Beerus is pretty good. I might even, like, if I include Easy A's as physical Beerus, Easy A is, like, spectacular. He might even be on here, but we're not doing that. So, let's go to number 10. So, at number 10, we have Gamma 1. Now, these next few ones, you can interchange a little bit. So, we'll just do it by putting 10 and 9 on the board. If I can find them. Here he is. So we have 10 is Gamma 1 and 9 is Path to Power Kid Goku. Now, both of these units, again, if you want to argue one or the other over the other one, sure, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. They're the same spot, essentially. Also, with the next ones as well, I would say they're pretty similar, pretty close. And then after those ones, there is a tier above them, but we'll get into that. So right now, Gamma 1. Guard, damage reduction, built-in crits, a nullification counter. He has a lot. He also supports. He has a lot of good stuff going for him, right? So he guards for 4 turns, so 2 appearances. Again, he builds up with each hit, which isn't the best thing, but again, he's guarding and he has damage reduction. So as long as you get him built up pretty quickly, he should be fine. He gets defense on super, of course, so you put him additional. He double supers. He has built-in crit. He does the crits as well. Again, also nullification to unarmed super attacks, which can be useful. But I'd say one of the best things about this guy, other than the guard and the damage reduction, is the all allies key 1 defense plus 30%. That is a great thing to have on the team. Giving extra key, extra defense, just straight up, is just good. He also has Cold Judgment, which, if you like defense links and running units with Cold Judgment, shocking speeds, more key, he has good links, especially, well, at least for Gammas. So I could see him moving up a spot or two if we get an LR Gammas for Anniversary. We'll see. So next we have Path to Power. He's pretty similar to Gamma 1 in the sense that he gives support to DB and Youth. 2 key, 50% attack and defense, which isn't that crazy on any of the teams you're running him on, honestly. Mainly because 23rd World Tournament Goku isn't on DB Saga, which is, it's just a weird translation. I'm pretty sure it's Boyhood Saga or whatever is what it is in Japanese, but they changed it to DB Saga because essentially 23rd World Tournament is DB Saga, or he's at least in Dragon Ball, but it's not the youthful Saga because, he's older. It's like Teen Goku. Why he's not called Teen Goku and he's just called Goku, I don't know. They are weird. It is Dokkan. So, back to Path to Power. He changes Rainbow Orbs, which is always good. Always like that. You put him on the team, man, he does his Rainbow Orb change, boom, now you have Ki. Where sometimes you don't have Ki, which is really unfortunate because you're probably running him with God Goku and maybe even LR Ultimate / Beast Gohan. He will be on an LR Beast Gohan's team. Just keep that in mind. Earthbred Fighters, pretty good. It's a pretty good team. So he will be there. So he gets 20% attack and defense per key, chance of performing a crit, and reduces damage received by 7% per rainbow, which is good. Plus additional defense, plus 59 with 3 or more key spheres. Launches an additional with a high chance of becoming a super with 5. And all allies chance of performing a crit, and all allies reduce damage received by 8%, which is good for units with high defense or damage reduction. That is an extra bonus. It is good. That is a good thing in his kit. He, again, since he Rainbow Orb changes, that's not the hardest thing in the world to get. Active, who cares, doesn't really do anything. It does have a 59% chance to becoming crits, but honestly, you're not really doing it. Can't be active, receives 8 attacks or 59% or less. Even when you do it, it really doesn't do that much damage, so it doesn't matter. He's here for his slightly good damage, his slightly good defense, and his great support ability. So that's why he's there. So let me just get rid of those two. So the next two, we have 21 and Gohan and Piccolo. So it's the same thing with these two. They can kind of just be rotated here and there. I mean, again, if you want to move them in any other way, you can. I would have no issue with it, but at least these 4 I would say are in this tier. These guys could even be in this tier as well. That's why they're in honorable mentions. But 21, she has good defense after attacking. She has like 200k defense before attacking, which is just not good for Zamasu. Although she does give all allies 2 ki, so that is always nice. She has a high chance of evading attacks within the same turn when attacking. And then an additional 2 ki, that's just her stuff. She launches additionals. You know, she does pretty well, especially after she's like attacks. She is really good on defense, but before she just gets bodied, absolutely destroyed by the AoEs. Yeah, you can't run her in slot 1. The androids team is just not that good except for like the LR androids. So with that, you know, we'll move on. I mean, she has her transformation. She's pretty good. She recovers HP. Again, all allies key 2. Reduces damage. Like, she's just a good overall unit. Nothing too crazy. Then we go to Gohan and Piccolo. Straight up, they suck in this form. This form is terrible. They do give support. It's a 3rd attacker for 3 turns, which is nice. This extra key 1 and 30% attack and defense is good, except if you put them in slot 3, they'll get blown up, so that's not good. So, simply put, these guys suck until you, except for their revive, which you have when you're under 70% HP, I believe. Yep. And you recover 70%, so that's good, right? You're running this unit to revive them, usually running them with 23rd World Tournament for the easy revive. Then this guy comes out, and he has guaranteed dodge, guaranteed crits. He throws out, like, he can throw out anywhere from like a 15 to like a 20 something. I've seen pretty crazy. Guaranteed crits again. Just great unit. Like this unit right here is good for 1 turn, and then he drops off. But he's still not as bad as this guy, but you're usually only running him to revive, and then hopefully you're done with the fight once this guy comes out. So if you float him in the 3rd slot, you revive, you get, I believe you still get this, and he revives, so, and then he comes back, and then he'll guarantee dodge, guaranteed crit, do a lot of damage, won't take any damage. So that is always a positive thing, and that's why I have them at 7 and 8. So next, we'll do the next tier of characters here. What I consider the top tier of characters is this next half. Some of these, I would say from 6 to 3, I would probably say you can group these all together as well. So let's get to that. You can kind of see him at the top, but it's fine. We got God Goku and 23rd World Tournament Goku. Now you may ask, why do you have God Goku below 23rd World Tournament Goku? And I tell you, sir, He has 23rd World Tournament, has a much higher peak, which you can easily obtain if you run units like Gohan and Piccolo, or, you know, the other great, fantastic revive unit, the LRGT Duo. He has easy access to revives with those two both being there, and they're both good units to run. They don't hold the team back a whole lot. They significantly help it, especially when you're running double 23rd World Tournament Goku. You revive and he becomes God mode, doesn't take damage, does a lot of damage, super effective, tons of supers. But God Goku is, he's like an all-rounder. He's the master of all, or what is it? Not no, the jack of all trades, master of none type character. He's great at everything, but he doesn't have anything that he's super excel. Well, that's not the right term for it. He doesn't have like a god mode where he goes absolutely crazy and carries your team. Doesn't take any damage. Doesn't do a super ton of damage. He's just an all-around great unit. This is not a knock on God Goku. He's a great unit. I don't even want to comment on this because nobody ever pulls this out. Why would you? Unless you're using it like the active to actually finish him, you don't see this guy ever. So this guy, of course, he orb changes with 6 super class allies, but there's 7 on the team, so you can have 1 extreme unit. So just keep that in mind. You do need 6 total. And he type orb changes, which is probably a problem. If you rainbow orb change there, that would be so much better. But since it's a type orb change, you know, it is a little iffy at times. He definitely can be caught lacking with those orbs. He just might not get them. It happens all the time for me. I got good orb vision. I don't know what to tell you. It just happens. So he, again, 30% chance to dodge just straight up. You get three key orbs. He gets the additional 30%, so now he's at 60% chance to dodge. You get the 6 key orbs. You get the 60% chance to dodge. You get the not guaranteed crit, the guaranteed guard, and you get guaranteed additional super. So super attacks don't do a ton of damage. I have mine built additional and crit, additional because he does stack. He does infinitely stack, so that is good. An infinitely stacking unit with dodge and guard, conditional dodge and guard, is a great unit overall. Again, he doesn't have a lot of issues. If you can get his key to him every time, he's completely fine. But it's a great unit overall. I wouldn't say he's bad. I mean, he is really good. He is a top 2 UR in the game, so he is crazy. But he's not as crazy as this one, right? Goku. 23rd World Tournament Goku. Now, this doesn't matter. You don't ever see this. What is the condition? I don't even know. I've never seen this before. 59% or less starting from the 6th turn from start of turn. Not even start of battle. So yeah, you don't ever see this. When you're running this guy, his revive doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. You won't ever see it. That's what I mean by you won't do anything. You're running him with GT Duo or Gohan and Piccolo, who will revive first, and then you won't even be able to revive with this guy, but it doesn't matter because he gets this. He gets this. This is what the key thing about this unit. So, yes, he's a 50-50 after the he's a 50-50 after the first turn. So remember, the first turn he does guard. He guards all attacks for 1 turn guaranteed. It is not a 50-50. Then after that, it is a 50-50. He also nullifies Ki Blast Supers, which Zamasu has a Ki Blast Super. It's important. Zamasu has Ki Blast, so he can nullify that, and he also gets his stacks. Now, if you have this guy full dodge, he gets 20% defense whenever guard is activated, so keep that in mind. So if you're guarding and you dodge an attack, that still procs. Now this one doesn't, where you have to get hit, but this one does. So I would make this guy full dodge. Honestly, if you really just want to max out damage and get him hit, I guess you can do additional crit, but I have him full dodge just in case. You know, you never know. You never know. And also just dodging supers does save you a lot of HP. Now it's when he gets the revive, which is very easy on his teams to get. He gets the additional attack and defense plus 150%, which is a large buff, and he launches an additional super attack, and again, he guaranteed guards. He does a ton of damage. His defense is fantastic. He guards, like, what else is there to say? His leader skill is fantastic. Earthbred Fighters, powerful comeback in Battle of Fate. Now, if this was something other than World Tournament, it would be even better, but it's World Tournament. Nothing you can do, but Battle of Fate is a good category. So, again, that is why I have him above God Goku. Not a big deal. Again, you can switch these around. I have no problems with it. And then we get into number 4 and 3. So let's see who can you guess these characters? I'm sure you can at this point. We have Ma Junior, and this is where I put Vegito. So Ma Junior. Very good. He has an insane amount of defense after he supers. He gets bodied by Zamasu. Same thing. He just doesn't have a ton of defense before supering. But after supering, he can have a lot of defense. And he gets caught against some enemies, like physical, because he doesn't have dodge, he doesn't have damage reduction, he doesn't have guard, he just has a lot of raw defense, like a lot. So he also, do I need to talk about how much damage he does? This guy does so much damage with his super effective most of the time, because you're usually fighting one enemy in these hard fights. So he has his super effective, he has his chances to launch a whole bunch of additional supers, and then when you meet the conditions, which is 60% or less starting from the 4th turn from start of battle, you can go giant form. His giant form is the 2-turn giant form, which means he gets rid of AoEs, he gets rid of heals, he gets rid of super attacks on that turn, which leaves you free pretty much to do a whole bunch of free damage and not get supered, not get AoE'd. So with no consequences. He has a good link set. He's on a decent teams like Terrifying Conquerors, Final Trump Card. I guess World Black Chaos is pretty good because of Masu, Battle Fate, Earthbred Fighters. These are all good teams. And he holds his own weight. He doesn't need units around him. He does what he does by himself. Now, if you give him big bad bosses, Thirst for Conquest, stuff like that, then yes, of course, he's going to do so much better because big bad bosses gives you 25% attack and defense. But he can do crazy stuff by himself on even a super class team. He puts in work, and that's why I have him at number 4. He's better than the other TURs. He's been the number 1 TUR until I would say Vegito came out. So with that, we go to number 3, which is Vegito, right? Limit Breaker, Vegito. Oh, I spoiled it. Whatever. You already knew, I'm sure. Limit Breaker, Vegito. Now, do I have to say it? He's crazy. 60% damage reduction for 6 turns. 70% chance to crit. 70% chance to additional super attack. Like, he is just crazy. Tons of defense. Tons of offense. Active skill guaranteed crits, gives you your defense start a turn. He just does a lot. His drawback, Dragon Ball Heroes category. Or I guess crossover Giant 8 power. That's his drawback. He is limited to those 2 teams. It's kind of unfortunate. Now, if I look at the team, it's not like terrible, but there's definitely better teams out there. And you're forced to run this when you're running this guy for him to be even close to full power. I mean, you can have a decent squad. The team is, again, it's not terrible. It's not the worst team ever. But it's, again, some of these units are going to age, and it's just really unfortunate in that aspect. But he is, he's still him, regardless. Teams, I do include teams factors a little bit. I don't do it overwhelmingly, like, too much about the whole rest of the team, but it is a little bit important factor to note, and you'll see that with the next character as well. He has the same issue, if not worse, but I do think that his kit is better, so why don't we just get to that then. You saw it. Harutogarn, and I'm sure you can guess Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku, right? So with these two, I think straight up Harutogarn has the better kit if it was somebody who had teams. His team is terrible. His leader skill is absolutely awful. And the only other team he's really on is Zamasu's team, where he only gets the 150%. And it's just unfortunate. If he gets buffs, I easily see him being number 1 because he just has dodge. He has additionals built in. He stacks defense. He has the keys. He just needs the team for it. And again, once you get in Harudegarn, he does a lot of damage with his guaranteed crits. Or I guess not guaranteed crits. He does with his chance to crit, and then he can also gain additional 10% chance to evade for each attack. So he goes from 70% to 80 to 90 and then to 100, and then as you dodge that third one, he gets guaranteed dodge next turn, which is crazy. He's taking 0 damage. He's dishing out a ton of damage. He has a good link set. It's really just the team. He just needs other units on these teams. We need like a powerful opponent type team to let him thrive. But I would put him lower, but it's just I can't. His kit is too good overall to put him any lower than where he's at. So I'll leave him at number 2. And number 1, Dragon Fist. He has a ton of utility. So he gets his. He's not a slot 1 character, although he can be put in slot 1 if you're feeling lucky, you can put him in slot 1, right? High chance. He has straight up just a high chance to evade. And then he shoots out like 15 million attack stat. He does have a chance to crit. So he gets 50% chance to crit and 70% chance to dodge as the second or third attacker in the turn. He does get killed by AoEs, but since he has that 70% chance to dodge as the second or third attacker in the turn, it makes up for it because you can just dodge it. 70% chance is a good chance to dodge. If you fail it, it's just unlucky, honestly. More than 50%, it's a good chance to dodge. Great chance to dodge, I guess you can call it, right? And again, his main thing, though, is Dragon Fist. So, he has a good condition. 70% or less starting from the 3rd turn, or just 6th turn. So once you go into Dragon Fist, this is the utility I'm talking about. He has crazy utility. His team is also good. Movie Hero's Final Trump card is good. Super Saiyan 3 isn't the best extra 30%, but Kamehameha, a lot of decent characters are on that. So, no complaints really, other than the Super Saiyan 3 part, but he can't attack, but he sees enemy super attack and has just straight up a great chance of evading. Now, the super attack that you see is a guaranteed nullifying counter. So you guaranteed additional hit once he gets hit by a super or gets that super thrown at him. And again, you have the utility to see where it is. You can essentially just, as long as you're under the condition, see where the super attack is every turn because you can activate the standby and then close app. And if you wanna keep him in standby mode, then you'll just dodge the super and counter. So again, he has a lot of utility. He also gives all allies 3 key and 59% defense, which is also crazy. So that's why I have him at number 1. He does a good chunk of damage on that Dragon Fist. He has great defensive utility. He has great utility with the Scouter. He dodges. Guaranteed dodging supers is crazy. Nobody on that rotation will get caught by a super unless you make them get caught by a super because you know where it is. So with that, that's why he's at number 1. That's my list. If you like this video, please just leave a like, drop a sub to the channel. I don't think my list is too bad. If you have anything to change about the list, what would you change? Again, I think these 6 are grouped together, and then I would say like you could group these 6 together. I wouldn't put Dragon Fist under 1, but if you put Harudegarn at 1, whatever. If you put Harudegarn down below these guys, I mean, I'd get it. It would be because he lacks teams, which he does. But on those teams, he is great on there. So overall, I'd say this is a pretty good list. If you change anything, let me know in the comments. I'm out.